Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to an exciting and everything amazing Propagandacast with me, your host, Imperial Dane. The one and only Master Propaganda here with one last episode of the old patch before the next one hits. And yes, it's another match on road to Tunis. But get just like a cluster of matches I really would like to cast right before the patch ends. But in the end, they kind of all on road to Tunis, so... Anyways, hopefully, once the patching gets mentioned, other maps than road to Tunis, but for now, it's just... a bit unfortunate, like just some of the best and interesting matches have been on this map. Anyways, in the West, we got Momo4sho here fighting for the Republic of Germany. Deutschland here with the Fallschirmbrigade Ramke. Second Fallschirmjäger Company in the East stands Blackwing. And we got here Luftwaffe and Fallschirmpionier. Blackwing with Freedom and Democracy. The first armed invasion here with the M29 Weasel here. Possibly right away off the bat by other special operations. And no early Weasel. I believe that could get into trouble in some places. Anyways, heading southwards over the Fallschirmpionier. Most of the places like the Weasel, it is. So, Fallschirmpionier base in the south here with the Sandbags. Up north here, Sandbags from the Pioneers. Also, don't really know what change we're specifically getting in the patch, except again the change of the updates of the sounds and the sort of whole loitering and strafes, as aircraft should also be modeled a bit more, well, less like a toy aircraft, plus some other smaller changes, but nothing like really substantial for getting any balance changes or like what fixes are like happening in terms of bugs. So we'll of course have to see in the following video, of course. We'll probably go into a bit of detail into any changes that actually do happen if we get them. The news squad out there for Momo, sitting out there for the fatherland, Deutschland. But largely instead approach from both sides, sort of sweeping out here across a good chunk of the map, looking to gain as much terrain as humanly possible. Fallschirmpionier there laying down sandbags as they advance here. Momo, of course, looking to secure battleground here with the power of the Fallschirmpionier. Gunny is busy there by the munitions point here as well. Third Royal Squad there for Blackwing. Scouts continue to press forwards in the south here for the United States. Gunny is busy here. Could lay down some sandbags there, of course, but guess Momo wasn't interested in that, or he just wasn't focused on it. Third Royal Squad out here. First shots fired in the south here. This is the Fallschirmpionier versus the Scouts. And the Scouts are definitely not favoured in this engagement. This is very much where I think the Fallschirmpionier should very much win, short of like, divine intervention, basically. Does get a kill on the Fallschirmpionier, most of them actually not in cover here. They're sort of poking out here, which definitely helps the Scouts out a bit as they unlike cover, even though there's the Fallschirmpionier, they're still disadvantaged. No Weasel still here from Blackwing, maybe a 4th Rifle Squad here. I mean, a lot of infantry would be quite a potent move. And we got what looks to be another Fallschirmpionier squad here for Momo. Fallschirmpionier in the south falling back. Up north here, machine gun here. The Grenadiers 14 Rifle inside the building here. Blackwing realizing that thing is not going to work out for him. Starts pulling back and he goes for a mortar in response to the MG42. Fallschirmpionier dropping in the car front here. Momo goes in boldly for Deutschland. And the south here, the Fallschirmpionier being on the Rifle Squad, having already suffered losses from the Scouts. They are very much unable to, like, hold off the rifleman here, so Momo is going to have to fall back here or suffer, well, total annihilation. His Fallschirmpionier losing a 280 manpower squad like that is going to be quite painful, in particular as the Fallschirmpionier do scale fairly well, in part just due to a very good Veterans Who Won ability, which allows them to both heal themselves, but also capture points faster. It is also an ability to share with the Fallschirmjägers. North the Grenadiers and Pioneers here, catching whilst on a retreat here, unleashing a bit of firepower there, and we got smoke screens here for Blackwing. Rather than pulling northwards here, dug in by the car pod here, Momo is bold into maneuvers here. We got Engineers as well for Blackwing here. An interesting choice here this early on. Not saying it's wrong to go for Engineers at all. I mean, you will need them eventually, but I don't think most American players would go for them this early. So that is an interesting choice here.
Territory point is no longer under our control.
Modifying the MG42, Glenn is busy here. Fallschirmpionier falling a bit back here for the Fatherland.
Deploying engineers now.
And we got the Engineers ready here. We got the infantry support setting up there for Blackwing. No surprise. Very popular pick at the moment, in particular for the 1-on-1 metagame. The upgrades provides are very good, and of course, getting the captain is also very good. So it's just very popular for those reasons. Last really caught with the infantry there, quickly suppressed. Lewis there in fact drops dead. The machine gun team is definitely not having the best of day here. The mortar just keeps hammering away there. Forcing Momo to withdraw it, I imagine, soon. Further south here, Fallschirmpionier moving forward here with their Kar 90K bolt action rifles. Rifleman pushing forwards here, taking a loss there as Bob there gets ripped apart, and Lewis there joins into the afterlife as well here. Definitely should be winning here for the Falchion Pioneer. The Rifleman similar to health. We got a satchel charge here, and Momo. Whoa, okay. Apparently the rocks they actually held out there. Would have figured they'd get blown up there as well, but apparently those rocks are like sturdy. Well, they were sturdy. Meanwhile, got a Luftwaffe company with a 2-1 there for Momo. So definitely going to be interesting here. But yeah, he did end up losing a Falchion Pioneer squad at some point here.
Victory point is under enemy control.
So that's obviously quite good there for Blackwing, getting rid of an early Falchion Pioneer squad. We do of course have the 2-1 out here to support the Falchion Brigade Ramke. Maybe send in from the 21st Panzer Unit, right? Some armored responsibility for the Falchion Jäger Brigade. Going here for the mortar. Momo there diving and aggressive. Then we got Fallschirmjägers dropping in as well here. Momo a big fan of Fallschirmjägers. For obvious reasons, they are quite good, but he definitely believes, personally I believe at the moment, that they're definitely like one of your best picks against Riflemen, as they do scale very well with the veterancy bonuses. Up north here, Captain being caught in the deadly crossfire between the armored car and the Fallschirmjägers here. So that is why you'll probably see him commit fairly heavy here to the Fallschirmjägers. He's been caught in a bad spot here, armored car rushing in there with its machine gun there, pushing back the engineers, and the Fallschirmjäger course also getting some great hits there with the FG-42. The Fallschirmjägergewehr 42. Rifleman push back. We do get the BA up here for Blackwing. An excellent course addition there. Armored car pushing the scouts here. Further south, we got the Falchion Pioneer probing forwards there for the fatherland. And further up north, it claims to be caught by the Rifle Squad here. Low on health. Momo makes the right decision to pull back the Grenadiers before they get utterly wiped out. Getting the Rifle Squad on side here. So of course, have to see what is next here for Momo. Besides that one armored car from the Luftwaffe company and some Fallschirmjägers. You could of course commit to a second Fallschirmjäger squad here as well. That would certainly give Momo a fairly large quantity of sort of like elite assault troops here. That could give Blackwing's Riflemen a bit of a hard time. That is very much a possibility that could be considered by Momo. Mines being laid down here. We have the MD4 terrain, of course the Fallschirmjägers MD4 to the least hell here on the engineer school. They are very much rapidly dispatched here, unable to like do much against this many shots. We do have the mortar joining in. In the south here, Blackwing is making progress. We got a second Fallschirmjäger squad here for Momo and the Falchion Brigade Ramke, which was really the only Fallschirmjäger unit that actually fought in North Africa. A smaller detachment there. Basically made up a few battalions of Fallschirmjägers and other supporting elements. Otherwise, the vast majority of Axis paratroopers in North Africa would very much have been Italian ones, like the Folgore Division and the Nembo Division. Fun fact, well, that's a pretty aggressive drop here for Momo, like right behind his opponent's force there. Very bold there by Momo. He clearly believes in their elite element here. And there go Captain charging the Fallschirmjägers. Pretty risky move here by Blackwing. Of course, he wants those Fallschirmjägers out of his rear lines, but he certainly needs to be careful, like he doesn't like exposing up to too much firepower from these Fallschirmjägers. But they are Fallschirmjägergewehren. Need to retreat the Fallschirmjägers here before they get utterly annihilated. Up north here, Rifle Squad flanking about. Mine goes off here, and we got the Fallschirmjäger again. Like, no, the way he just keeps using this concealment ability to like strike here from ambush positions. In this case, didn't quite work out, but still catches here Blackwing off guard, then gets him some good hits. Machine gun there catching the Rifle Squad, but ends up retreating anyways. Armored car pushing forwards one here for the fatherland. Rifle Squad being pushed back here as Momo unleashes hell.
Reinforcement withheld, Commandant.
And holding back reinforcements.
LG-40 launchers.
And there you go, dropping in the LG-40, the Leichtes Geschütz. An anti-tank weapon that could also double as a direct fire weapon with high explosives. Primarily meant for the Fallschirmjägers. They also existed a larger version with a 10.5 centimeter gun. That's a fun fact there. Got the armored car blast with the Rifle Squad there. Quickly dropping Johnson there like a sack of potatoes from Idaho. Well, of course, obviously when he gets through crewing that, he's clearly concerned about, though, from Blackwing starting to, like, say, chuck a light vehicle like an anti-aircraft Probably not that one, say Greyhound or Chaffee at him. So having access to the LG-40, of course, will be handy. Interesting enough here, from Blackwing, we actually got a bazooka team. Don't see those too often nowadays. Could also, of course, go on here for the SSF Commanders instead, but he clearly wants the cheaper option over the bazooka team. There we go, one hit, the other one seems to be a bit of a whiff there. Very lucky there for Momo. Map control-wise, there's a slight lead here for Blackwing over Momo, and the Germans in the south of Pioneer being swarmed by engineers, and the Ralph got the BARs here. He will have to withdraw the Pioneers before they become ex-Pioneers. And he's pulling forwards, Falchion Pier loading up here. Blackwing doing his best here to fight for map control against Momo. And he's being pushed back. They're already low and healthy. Not a great gauge from here. And here Momo makes the right decision, just retreating them before he suffers pointless losses. They're not going to do anything anyways. So just preserving the manpower, getting them healed up is a much more savvy move there by Momo versus Blackwing. Up north, the armored car keeps throwing up back, but it is fairly heavily damaged, but it all is close to Veterans 1 here. But up north here, Fighting Makers has arrived squad here. Quick grenade. Oh, Momo not paying attention there. Suffers several rather expensive losses on the Fighting Makers that will have to withdraw here. Of course, if he keeps the Grenadiers in the base here, he could just merge them with the Fighting Makers and up to full strength here. And now we got the SSF Commanders out as well here for Blackwing, so field is definitely starting to get filled up with elite infantry. Grenades in the center here. Wonder, does he have any of the upgrades here? No. Oh, he does have the munition supplies, but we are not seeing, for example, like, you know, cheaper reinforcements for Blackwing, or for that matter, like, you know, more health for his troops, which, certainly considering how many troops he does have, getting some of those upgrades going would be very good for him. In the south, more pressure here from Blackwing against Momo. Seems to have slightly forgotten his Falchion Pioneer. Mines here from Momo. LG-40 there being hauled to the front line. And we got a Panzer Company up for Momo as well here. Looking to push for some relatively fast panzer of his opponent. Smart. We can see that Blackwing course is kind of getting ahead of him here and actually starting to control more of the fuel points on the sides. Which does mean Momo's plan for, like, you know, a relatively fast Panther 4 could run into some issues. It does depend, of course, how much more fuel he does have now here compared to Blackwing, but it could end up being he doesn't get that Panther 4 as fast as he would like here versus Blackwing. Walter keeps at it here. He's in here, and the Falchion Makers now Veteran 2-1.
Victory point is under enemy control.
More attacking here, being halted up on the flank here in the south, though. Fresh push by Momo, though, is quickly being rebuffed here as Blackwing moves in fresh forces here, backed up, of course, with the Commandos to push off here. Momo's Falchion Pioneer, if he doesn't retreat now, that could be a wipe here. That was a really weird retreat path there by the Falchion Pioneers. There's actually a chance here that he might get a wiping part because, again, those Johnsons on the Commandos really pack a punch. Fun fact, the Johnson light machine on the Commander's wheel is very similarly designed to how the German FT-42 works. And there you go, full wipe on the Falchion Pioneer. Quite a blow there to Momo. Excellent kill there, of course, for Blackwing. Of course, Momo still has, like, you know, the Falchion Pioneer and the Grenadiers losing. The Falchion Makers and the Falchion Grenadiers, but not losing the Falchion Pioneers. What does hurt Momo here? Fair bit. And really, I think, gives Blackwing just more control on the field here with his infantry. So do not take those Commandos lightly. They can give you a very nice surprise here. That said, Momo does, of course, bring in the Mighty Starstorm. Momo, one of those players who does know the value of the Starstorm as well there. Thumbs up to that. Easily one of my favourite infantry in the game at the moment, so that's definitely going to give Blackwing a bit of a tougher time alongside the Falchion Makers. In fact, Momo now has 3 elite infantry squads, the 2 Falchion Makers, and the Starstorm. That will be a bit of a challenge here for the infantry. We've got White Phosphorus Grenade here, though, forcing Momo's Starstorm out of cover, and right into the open there. Nice grenade in the centre, German infantry pushing forwards as well here. Back in base, we got a supply drop for Blackwing, meaning anti-tank guns, and a Browning 30 cal there. Straight to these Commandos here. By the way, Veterans on those Commandos. Starstorm at this point, he may want to consider just pulling them back, like 2 members are right about to die. Yeah, now 1 is dead and the other's about to join in soon as well here. A nice flank here, though, by Momo. Forces Blackwing to withdraw from the south as his position gets horribly overextended. Back to Momo. Has the infantry reserves ability up as well. As for the Panther IV, he is getting there, but again, the good field control here from Blackwing definitely makes it a lot harder for Momo to get with like just a bit over 10 fuel per minute. Is really putting some pressure there on Momo's plan there for a fast Panther IV here versus Blackwing. Does mean Blackwing has more time to catch up with his own tanks. Starts to narrowly dodge it. Might actually be able to get a wipe here. And there you go. We got grenades here. But Blackwing's infantry there definitely dodges it. Now has to retreat here, though. There's just too many riflemen. And just Momo's infantry is not in a condition to keep fighting here in the south. But he keeps the Fallschirmjägers around there in a bold maneuver versus Blackwing. Feel like this could backfire on him. In the center there, keeping up the Americans a bit occupied. And further north here, Momo is making some progress against Blackwing now. So a lot of hex action across the field here. White Fussers around there. And I believe we are seeing the tank depot here from Blackwing. 30 cal though still lies abandoned within the confines of the base. And there you go, Momo here at the 60-man mark with a Panther IV to support the Fallschirmbrigade Ramke. Fallschirmjäger divisions did not have access to Panzers organically, though. Later in the war, they would actually have Sturmgeschütz directly part of the units. Fun fact, they even had a few Fallschirmjäger Sturmgeschütz brigades to make it even more fun. Raus going to the Fallschirmjägers here, though. Apparently needs moving in. There you go. Panther ready for Momo and the Fatherland. Das Vaterland. Starts from Metchens 1. Not away from going for the opposite quarter seat. Grenade dodge here by the Fallschirmjägers. More riflemen running heavy firepower. Pioneers being shredded. Panther IV pushing forwards, backed up by a fair amount of elite infantry here. And not elite infantry. Panther IV breaking through the fields here. Rifleman there. But position is a bit exposed. Needs to be very careful here. And there goes straight into the anti-tank guns. Shots punching right through the front llama, giving the crew quite a fright here. But Momo, I think, needs to be a bit deterred by that. Start pulling back the Panther IV before it becomes a Panzer no more. Mortar firing down death here from above. Bazooka teams applying pressure. Momo's elite infantry here pushing forwards here. Could catch his position. He does finally get the 30 cal in action. And not a moment too soon, because Momo's elite troops are about to attack. And no, these Fallschirmjägers are pretty much made out of grenadiers, having been murdered so much there. Also got Grenadiers merged here. This definitely helps keep the cost there of reinforcement down for Momo significantly. Fallschirmjägers Starstorm going at it here. Got 282 versus 412 there. Just keeps up the bleeding on Momo. But the Stars and the Fallschirmjägers are definitely doing their part. But the S's of commanders are not about to get outdone here by those goddamn Krauts. Fallschirmjägers push back here in the face of ruthless firepower here. Starstorm to keep up the fight here. 10 kills already, Veterans 1. Further north here, points falling into the hands of the Americans once more. Fallschirmjägers swap up there, almost wiped out. And Momo's Panther being repaired. We actually got a Fallschirmjäger Pioneer squad out here as well to help repair. Starstorm half HVT2. Very good news for Momo. Less good news for Blackwing's infantry. In the south, Fallschirm Pioneer, they're about to join their other Fallschirm Pioneer comrades in the grave. But Momo pulls them back this time before they get utterly hosed out. Panther IV there, pushing forward with the Fatherland. And we got the LG-40 there, another one by here for Momo, clearly concerned about like tanks or vehicles here from Blackwing. Panther IV pushing forwards. Ralph squad around it. Up to Blackwing. Sherman out there for Blackwing. We got Momo's Panther IV breaking through. Sherman at the ready, 50 cal being added. Anti-tanks also on the move here, looking to hunt down this goddamn Kraut Panzer. Grenadiers there, easily line of fire, and Momo will be forced to withdraw here. Otherwise, this man is just going to get utterly annihilated. This late into the game, the Grenadiers will typically perform like support roles, like merging, grabbing points, crewing weapons, all that sort of stuff. Maybe flanking a few units, but they're not going to say like do a lot against like a lot of barred up riflemen. Fighters pushing forwards here. Straight into the Sherman. They got fired up rifle as well here. And Mort as well there. Fighters low on health. Quickly forcing Momo to withdraw them in the center. Starstorming head up in the 30 cal. Nice position here. Will need to sort that out. And Momo, of course, lacking in artillery, will struggle a bit with that. Could, of course, go for a mortar. You could also just try and move up the tank to destroy that over the anti-tank and the Sherman nearby. That is going to be a bit of a challenge here for Momo just drop his Panther 4 to do that. We do have the LG-40 as well nearby. Starstorm horseback, but interesting enough with no casualties. Very fortunate there for Momo. Pretty much means all the manpowers preserved, just focus on healing them. Panther 4 shoots, bounces. What's that? The LG-40. We got both in the ball here. Another bounce. Keep in mind, penetration in Company 3, like in Company 2, is in part determined by distance. The further away the target is, the less penetrative power your gun has. Or for that matter, the enemy gun has, so... Distance is a good way to help minimize the impact from anti-tank weapons. Fun fact. Panther 4 pushing forward and getting the Sherman. Shot bounces. Mines here from Blackwing. There you go. Blows apart Momo's Pioneers almost entirely. Fighting Pioneer in bad spot. That Panther 4 has to withdraw soon as well here. LG-40 coming up. We got, there you go. Looks like an artillery strike or strafing run here from Blackwing against Momo. Mortar fire as well here in the south. Momo's Fighters making short work of Blackwing's engineers. Absolute no mercy there. One bit back here and up north. Blackwing is making steady progress. Commandos holding back here. And Blackwing could soon go for another Sherman. He could also course it up for Hellcats. The only upgrades here. We do have the advanced logistics, but interesting enough, not survival training. Starstorm at it again. Pushing 4 vets for the Fatherland. In the center, that game's being hammered by the Sherman. Almost getting wiped out. And the SSF commandos are sent packing. Light guns there being forced off as well here. As Blackwing continues to put up a pretty strong front. And he's got a significant lead over Momo. 412 is 121. That is quite the gap and quite the challenge for Momo, I think, to break. Momo's base. Well, we got the Falchion Pioneers actually riding on the Panther 4 here. 2 thumbs up. It was nice to see some tank riding for someone that isn't me. I'll just quickly move up his tank there with the Falchion Pioneers on it. Falchion Pioneers, of course, can move faster that way in a sense, but also means less management in that regard as well there. So, nice little ability there, and of course, very much flavorful as well. Starts from the south, he'll engaged with the Sherman. North here, Panther 4 going for that northern point. Falchion Pioneers can drop off here, and then the Panther 4 can deal with the Rifleman. If he can hit. 412 on 21. Momo sort of hoping to slow down here the continuous bleed here from Blackwing, and is so far seemingly succeeding in it. North there, Rifleman pushed back. Center being held by the Germans in the south here, though. Blackwing and the 1st Armored Division is making good progress against the Germans. Starstorm level health, and there you go. Double LG-40s, max range, both shots bounce. That is pretty lucky here for Momo. Another bounce again. Good golly, Blackwing is really lucky, and Momo, of course, in comparison, is really unlucky. In the center, we got Fighters commandos finding out he needs support here, but ultimately the Fighters are just outgunned. Too many American light machines for them to really contend with, even with the FD-42s. Back to Momo. Who's going for a Sturmpanzer 4. Oh my. Definitely don't see that too much. We also have veterans running the Panther 4. No officers' quarters though. We got Hellcat now as well here with Blackwing pushing forward straight at the Panther 4 here. Definitely putting a bit of a front, I think, into Momo's Panzer crew. And he responds here with a Stuka Loiter, calling in the might of the Luftwaffe against the Americans. Quickly strafing down death from above here. Hellcat open top there, definitely quite exposed to that. And the Captain taking a few bursts into his posterior as he retreats. Meanwhile, Blackwing there pushing for the road here, looking to sever Momo4sho's connection to the southern missions point here. But there you go, caught with Luftwaffe, and the Afghan almost got wiped out. Good God, that was a hell of a loiter there. That one was a whiff, but there you go, Sturmpanzer moving vorwärts. And we got the delayed fuse barrage here from Blackwing's mortar crew there. 5th cal being added to the M18 Hellcat. Brass Leopard scouts and machine heading northwards here, looking of course to keep up the bleed here on Momo. He's got still at 121. Meanwhile, Blackwing is down to 375 here versus Momo. Sturmpanzer slightly falling back here.
A capture point is being overrun.
Machine gun holding back.
We have lost control of a victory
German racing southwards here. Falkenberg is just trying to stay clear of it. And we got the Panther 4 there setting out. Pioneers running along again. Could also have the Stars to ride alongside the Pioneers. North, oh, grenades! Almost taking out the Falkenberg squad here. Very close call there for Momo. Almost had it there for Blackwing, of course. Must feel a bit bitter that one. There goes Sturmpanzer, moves in, shoots. Quite the explosion, but nothing quite enough to kill any of the Americans, but certainly enough to convince them they need to be elsewhere. South pushing vorwärts. Baltimore just getting out of there. In the face of Momo's Blitzkrieg fist there. My god, they got... who did they get actually? I think it's Thomas. Thomas? Yeah. Oh, well, no one liked him. Starts on the ready. There we go. Reaching Retty 2 there, and the commanders are going to be charging right into that. That's going to be a rough one for them. Mortar fire, though, definitely helps out a bit here. I believe Momo's brought in a mortar of his own as well there. Now there's a bit of light on both sides of northeast. Sturmpanzer being flanked here. Momo definitely pushing his Sturmpanzer too far, and Blackwing, of course, sensing an opportunity, charges in, looking to inflict some heavy damage here to his opponent. We've got the Bazooka team sprinting forward, trying to think here for a salute charge, maybe. Almost got the Sturmpanzer, but the LG-40s here, while they may struggle with the front line of the Sherman, do not struggle at all with the Hellcat. And Momo is very much forced to withdraw here. Oh, Blackwing is, not Momo. I mean, he's still withdrawing his Sturmpanzer home to avoid the Bazooka team here, as Blackwing, of course, is looking to knock it out. Got another kill there with the Sturmpanzer, and the center here, rather than being absolutely obliterated by the Fallschirmjägers. And the far south here, Panther 4, half H-52, they're putting pressure and wiping out the mortar.
Panzer officers shall take up residence.
Officer quarters up here for Momo, on the way at least. Will we ever see the side skirts? I do not know. 121 versus 270. Momo is still looking to close the gap between him and Blackwing here. Starstorm versus El Capitan.
The enemy has taken a victory point.
Party makes out them supposed to the 30 cal. And Momo's little raid there is definitely being put to rest. South, Blackwing looking to make another push here towards Momo's southern flank, expecting that to be more weakly defended, I suppose. Another Sherman there for Momo. Not for Momo, for Blackwing. I believe his other Sherman actually got wrecked. North, though, the Stussman playing on the flank here. Blackwing just pulls back the 30 cal before that becomes a German machine and give out. Fresh engagement in the south here between Momo and Blackwing. Fallschirmjägers versus Rifle Squad here. Anxious there go. Pioneers pushed back by the Sherman. Fighting for the south. Looks like it could heat up here, as of course Blackwing runs into a lot more resistance than actually expected. We got the LD-40s moving in here. The Senators haven't quite done as much as I imagine Momo had hoped for. As the Sherman tank, particularly at the front there, is able to resist a fair amount of shots, though of course they're still doing great work versus the Hellcat. Railscourt, Sherman here going for the Fallschirmjägers grenades here as a little parting gift from the German army. Railscourt takes a bit of hit here, Riven pushing back the LD-40s who can actually retreat. Only anti-tank guns incoming to see that can actually retreat are the LD-40s. And back to Blackwing.
Germans are down to 200 points. Keep it up.
227 as 121 here. The gap is closing still. Only thing at this point Blackwing misses in terms of abilities is the whiz-bang. We'll have to see, of course, if he goes for the whiz-bang or not, but he could go for it. Absolutely could.
Give us something to do.
Lord Picard in the open, we got to find the MG-42 here.
Infantry, get to cover.
Further north here, Starstorm on the flank here. Looking like that's going to be a rough one here for the engineers, but no, Momo starts to open thanks to the heavy cover, not quite able to make the impact on the engineers that he was hoping to. At this stage, he might get better off just treating them. Yeah, now he has to retreat them. Surprisingly, no casualties yet. They are fairly sturdy chaps, probably some of all those medals. Starts them there with the armored sides, goes there the Schutzen. Very nice there, of course also means the Panther has it. Got the Fallschirm Pioneers riding along now. Thumbs up.
Enemy movement near victory point.
SSF Commandos about to get blasted here. There we go, nasty hit here. Losses piling up here. Strong precision here from Momo, though of course could be susceptible to like a big barrage here on a artillery strike of some kind. Or bombing run, whatever. Fallschirm Jäger being hammered here by the 30 cal. Panther 4 pushing forwards, backed up here by the light guns, or the Leichtgeschütze, and the Fallschirm Pionier.
We have Sherman whiz-bangs available to hammer the enemy.
Whiz-bang available. Not entirely sure if we should go for it, but he could go for it here versus Momo. Fallschirm makes just trying to grab temper that MG or the 30 cal is definitely giving Momo a bit of a hard time here. The Sturmpanzer though is, I think, yeah, gonna do the job there. I think he's using delayed fuse there. Almost took out the 30 cal crew there. But Blackwing is narrowly able to pull it to safety. Narrowly.
Say the word, sir. A Sherman with a whiz-bang rocket launcher is ready.
And we do get the whiz-bang out here for Momo. Oh, not for Momo, for Blackwing. Do get the whiz-bang. So things definitely got a bit spicy here for Momo on his end.
Movement near our victory point.
We'll of course have to see how Momo responds to that. And how well can Blackwing, you know, utilize the whiz-bang there against Momo. Up north here, Panther 4 with some infantry reserves in theory nearby, but they're going to certainly take quite time to arrive there. In the south, though, is clearly where most of Momo's forces are set. Clearly expecting the main push to be there. Will Blackwing the strike? They will strike northwards instead. That's only where the gambit lies in. And looks like it's going to head northwards here. Meaning Momo's main force in the south will have some interesting choices. He could try and then flank up behind Blackwing's force. He'd just try and move to respond directly head on. We'll have to see. Here though, Bazooka team running straight into the Fallschirm Makers who were nicely ambushed out there. Ripping apart Bazooka crew, quick get a white P on Blackwing. Anti-tank moving forwards in the south, Rifle pushing forwards into the Sturmpanzer 4. We got shots fired off here. Starstorm with the grenade assault gets Rifleman. Oh! Good shot here. Starstorm near ace level here. Fallschirm makes that Jackson's Hellcats all clashing. Starstorm forced away here. So close to 83 there, but also close to death here. Hellcat being forced away. We've got a whiz-bang barrage against the machine gun and the mortar team. Almost wiping out here Momo's ace machine gun crew that survives with less than 1 point of health here. Sherman whiz-bang being pushed back here. LG-40's doing some damage, including one of its 2 SSF commanders, though, launching a counterattack here for freedom and democracy in the south. The Sturmpanzer almost wipes out one of Blackwing's riflemen. Another side slowing down here. More infantry pushing forward, but taking more hits here from the Sturmpanzer field, which is half age of 82. Sherman rolling in here. And up north, the Panther 4 probing about. They're looking for some easy kills. Close to 82 here. Sturmpanzer being steadily routed. Damaged engine on the Sherman. But Blackwing is clearly not giving up here. Sturmpanzer half health. Could try and move this Panther 4 to assist. Fallschirm Makers wiping the 30 cal. Painful blow there to Blackwing. Particularly Momo grabs and turns against Blackwing. First German counterattack here. Panther 4, Fallschirm Makers, Fallschirm Starstorm, Fallschirm Pionier. So there are actually some Fallschirm Makers reserves here. Further south here, the other Fallschirm squad, I think, is moving in a way to actually intercept the Sherman on the retreat, or perhaps catch some units there. Hard to say what Momo is exactly thinking. But that Sherman goes down. Claimed by the German Panzerwaffe in support of the Fallschirm Brigade Ramke.
Defend our victory point.
Whiz-bang, the almost ready to fire again. Advancing on the center, we've got 130 foes, 110. Momo has really closed the gap between the two now, and in fact, he's almost gotten a lead here over Blackwing. The Bazooka team there almost made its end here. We got the Starstorm at the ace level with 29 kills. Absolutely impressive work there by Momo.
200 points remain. We are losing our grasp.
But Momo definitely needs to gain more control of those victory points. There's still a chance here that Blackwing could, of course, turn the tide. Of course, with Blackwing, definitely needs to, like, catch more off guard somehow and turn things in his favor again. It's definitely possible, but I'd say the window of opportunity for like turning it around is definitely closing on though on Blackwing. Grenades, snares here. Hell of a hit here from the Sturm Punch. We got the Fallschirmjägers there pushing back the Ralph squad. Blackwing's men are getting pulverized. And there you go, a Starstorm supporting a southern fight here against the Americans. Really is just starting to rack up those kills. And Blackwing at this point does risk just simply falling behind Momo here. Did he ever get like the upgrade there? I think he did. Check here. Yep, he did get it. Very good. Very good. There you go, GG. GG. Game over there. A loss for Blackwing, a victory for Momo. A fierce fight here, a lot of nice back and forth action. Nice highlight of the Fallschirmjägers, one squad active managing their T3. As always, the Starstorm, so I would say also did quite well here for Momo. Plus some nice tank running action, Sturm Panzers, Panther 4s, and all the other stuff. Blackwing, though, I think definitely has some advantage. I think wasn't quite able to leverage them as well as he'd like to. Tactically, I think at times he got perhaps a bit too passive, which definitely I think gave Momo more room to turn the game around there. But always, you know, quite nice fight here. One last match of the old patch before Brass Leopard goes live. So I'll of course have a video up with a match featuring that after this one, and hopefully should be a nice and interesting and exciting one as well there. So thank you all for joining in. Hope you enjoyed the match. If you did, you can subscribe, like, share, comment. Helps with the algorithms, keeps making the videos spread out to more people. As you can support by donating or pledging on Patreon, and links in the description. This is Imperial Cheers, and see you all tomorrow for another episode. Bye.